It's their new logo. It's a Greek soccer team. She got it for me in Greece.
Ah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
Cool. I'm a sucker for green, just about anything too.
Plus, I'm hungry for shit. And with that, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Two Guys, One Moop. I am host number 2 of 2 Brando Comics. With me today always is the fuckable, huggable, insatiable, delicious, delectable cum factory, El Fuzzo.
Oh, Cum Factory. Nicely done.
Mm.
How are you tonight, sir?
I'm not bad. We, like I was just telling you before we hit record, just started a new show. Had to pause it. There's only like 10 minutes left, but I finally fell into the hype. I was gonna watch it anyway before I even knew the hype was so huge because I saw some of their advertisements. It was pretty cool, you know. Honestly, I thought the advertisements were like for PlayStation because you know the circle, the square. I'm
The
talking about
circle
Squid
and the
Games.
triangle, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about Squid Games, everyone. I also wasn't. I was gonna pass over it because not because it's a Korean show. I don't care about foreign shows or anything like that. But I can't. I mean, I could, but I fucking hate subtitles. I hate it so bad.
See, I'm
Hate it.
the opposite of that. I would much rather watch a show, like a foreign show. I would much rather watch it in the native tongue than a really, really bad overdubbing.
It's not bad overdub. And in fact,
Okay.
what I appreciate, it's obviously you can tell the difference.
You can tell, yeah.
It's not bad. They didn't choose. They clearly chose like Korean actors that can speak English.
Okay.
So it
All
flows better. Like the accent is there, and the inflection. Because you know, obviously, like people that do dubs, like if you and I did a voiceover or dub over for them, we
Right.
wouldn't be able to get that Korean culture inflection on certain
No.
phrases and shit. But they managed to pull it off, and I haven't really been caught up yet. It's not like that old terrible fucking like Bruce Lee style, you know. I want to fuck your mouth. Like it's not like that.
Yeah, well, like for me though, I think what kicked that off for me though is like being such a big horror fan is like when I was younger, you know, in my circle of friends and stuff, it was like, oh, have you seen this movie? And you're like, no, I haven't seen it. And they'd let you borrow the VHS. And like one of the first foreign films I ever watched, horror not, was a movie called Audition. And don't watch that shit if you are faint of heart because it is fucked up. But no, it was the thing that kind of got me into watching a lot of foreign stuff. Like, and the one cool thing I find, and it's I haven't really watched a whole lot of like other shit from around the world. Like I watched a couple of French films and they're pretty good, but like a lot of Asian cinema, primarily with me and subtitles. The way that the stories are normally presented, I don't even find myself really paying attention to the words because the actors and the stories play out.
Yeah,
and that
I can't do that.
everything.
If it's a heavy dialogue movie,
Right.
I can't. Like I could probably get away with like if I didn't speak English, let's say, and they did Old Country, was it Old Country? No Country for Old Men or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was a long movie, but it wasn't heavy dialogue, so I could like, all right. But dude, when it's heavy dialogue, I can't fucking read. Like it just
You want to
takes away
talk
from the
about?
whole thing.
I want to talk about phenomenal fucking movies, man. That No Country was
That was a really good movie, and I was shocked
such a good movie.
because they don't rely heavily on dialogue at all.
Nah,
So,
but the dialogue that is used is so
yeah, it's good.
powerful. Yeah. It's kind of like what was that other one that Daniel Day-Lewis did? It came out around the same time. The Milkshake. There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be
That's
Blood.
what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
That other movie too that got what was it? It finally got Leo the Oscar. Finally, that wasn't a heavy dialogue movie either. What was it called?
Remnant?
The Remnant.
No. Was it The Remnant?
Reverend?
The Bear. It was the Bear movie, right?
Yeah, the Bear movie.
Yeah. Okay. I still haven't seen.
So that's like when we pressed play upstairs on the show first. It was subtitled, and I was like, all right, I really hope that people weren't pulling my leg that this is dubbed over because I'm not going to watch this shit.
If it's subtitled.
If it's subtitled, there's just no way because that just takes away from the whole fucking experience for me. for me.
I actually didn't even know it was overdubbed until
Yep.
tonight when we were looking for something to watch on Netflix and the trailer started rolling and they were talking. I
Well,
was like,
give it a
oh,
shot,
shit.
man. Start out
Yeah,
with a
no,
dub,
for
see how
sure.
you feel. I mean, after like 5 minutes, it starts flowing
If I
much
have
better.
to watch it with her, I'm gonna have to watch the dub because she
Because
can't
she's
do
like me.
subtitles either. Well, see, here's the funny thing, man. This is the funniest fucking thing about my wife. My wife watches everything, English, foreign, whatever, captions.
See, I can't do that either. I
She
hate
has to,
because I
but
have to read it.
she hates foreign movies though. Like she
Yeah.
won't sit down and watch a foreign movie because she's like, I don't want to read the movie. I'm like,
Then
you
why
watch
you have?
everything with captions. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I know. A lot of places do that. They'll throw the captions on, and even if I can hear it and they're speaking my native language, I still fucking read everything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah, I've become so numb to it, dude, because I've been with her for so long
okay, Lincoln Park.
that it's like that it's literally like I don't even notice that they're on, but I notice if I watch something and they're not on.
Interesting.
Like I'm like, wait a minute, I just watched this whole fucking movie with no caption. Weird.
Yeah. Hey, whatever works.
But going
But
from good
yes.
movies to going to subpar movies, you went and saw Venom
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. What a
2.
weird experience. That was my first time going back to a theater since this whole thing started with shutdowns and
Yeah.
everything. And I didn't make it actually to a movie even before they shut everything down because I was busy. So it's been at least like I want to say 2 years since I was in a fucking movie theater. And I know that obviously weekdays are weekdays and weekdays are slow, especially by me, but
Yeah.
I usually always go on weekdays.
Mhm.
Just because that's just how my days off set
Right.
or hit rather. And there's always at least some people. We were the only two people, not even just in like to see the movie that we saw. We're the only two people in the entire fucking theater.
That's fucking. I gotta fucking think that's kind of a creepy feeling.
It was extremely creepy because on top of it all, they had three employees. They had the girl that was running the concessions and the tickets, a
Yep.
person to clean up, and then the person just to press play upstairs. It was just like so. There's literally only five of us in the entire building.
That's fucking crazy, man. You see, I don't, man. Maybe it's the
So
fact that I watched way too many horror movies in my life, but like I'd freak
yeah,
out.
and then I like lost my mind too because they had it in one of the smaller theaters, which isn't like
Yeah.
the arena style or. And I was like, kind of like freaking myself. I'm like, have movie theaters always been this small? Like,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it was nice, but it was like whatever. But of course I had to go see Venom. I'm glad that it was still in theaters that we could have watched it. But
Yeah.
uh, the first one I was very honest about. I said that it was one of those movies that was just so fucking bad that
Right.
I loved it.
Exactly.
Venom 1 was so fucking terrible that I loved it. So
Yeah.
for Venom 2, got full blown like Marvel mitts on it. Marvel got the fucking. I was like,
Exactly.
I had high hopes. See, that was the problem. Was the first one.
Right.
The first one I knew was gonna be fucking basura fuego, fucking just hot garbage, man, fire garbage. Like I just knew it. So that's why when I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm going in here with just the mind of like, I want to see how this plays out. Is it gonna
Right.
be entertaining? Is it gonna be silly? Okay. This one I went into like, all right, the first one shockingly was actually everyone agrees it was really fucking. A lot of people have the same opinion that I did, which was that was so fucking horrible, but I loved it.
Right.
So
The first one.
the first one.
Yeah.
So then I think people were like, all right, Marvel got its mitts now. Everything's, good to go.
Hmm. They should have been
Dude, it
worse.
was so bad. Like it was so bad, like it wasn't even like cool bad. It was just fucking bad. I was just
Just
like,
bad, bad.
yeah, it was so bad.
Bad
And I just didn't.
choices. Bad
I'm trying
story.
to sit here because the whole premise that they keep pushing, and oh, by the way, spoilers. This movie's been out long enough. I can talk. We may as well just because I know you already know. We already talked about it. You said you didn't
Yeah,
give
we
a
already
shit.
talked about it. Yeah, I
And
don't
after
fucking.
I told you about it, you're like, I'm probably not even going to spend $3.99 to rent it.
No, I'm not. Fuck that. No.
Okay, so um, I had high hopes, I guess, for Woody because like he can play like
He is a good actor.
dude 12 Monkeys.
Yeah. No,
We
absolutely.
all know he can play that
Yeah.
fucking role.
Yes.
I don't know, man.
Just not good, huh?
He's honest. I hate to say this, but dude, he's too old, man.
In that role, I would say yes.
Like, I'm
Because
sorry. Like, I get Cletus Cassidy, depending on when you read his storyline, that
right.
Carnage is of the ilk of mid 30s, but sometimes to mid 40s.
Yeah.
Like, you can clearly tell that this dude's like in his late 50s, early 60s, and it's just
Yeah.
like so much so. Look at it this way. So much so. This is how you always know that they just didn't give a shit. There's a scene where they show him in I think 1996
Okay.
when he's in a mental hospital.
Right.
So we've all seen Ant-Man where they show Michael Douglas younger
Yeah.
and they just paid the extra money CGI'd to just and use makeup and CGI to show a young Michael Douglas. It's Michael
Yeah.
Douglas playing Michael Douglas.
And Michael Douglas is like 107 at this point.
Yes. Okay. They just hired a random young actor to play Cletus Cassidy in 96. It was either 93 or 96. I don't remember.
Right.
I want to say it was, I don't fucking know. Anyways, 96, 93, whatever. 91, who knows? One of those. Early 90s.
Early 90s.
And they just, and he was mouthing words, and it was Woody Harrelson's voice over it, and it just looked horrible. It was just horrible looking. Like, yeah. He was lip syncing. He was just like, let's say they wanted to say, like, I can't lose you. You're the love of my life. He was like,
It was
like this kid
voice.
didn't know. Yeah, I can't lose you. You're the love of my life. Like, so that threw me off. I'm like, why wouldn't they just?
How was Hardy?
Shit. He
Just
still
bad.
hasn't found. He still hasn't found his footing as Eddie Brockman.
You know, I'm not so sure that's really his fault.
Dude, all I'm gonna say is this: is I get that Eddie Brock character. Okay, multiple different story arcs can be bumbling. I get it. They made him like even in the original storylines, when he is the disgraced investigative journalist in New York, and that's the whole thing of why he starts hating fucking Peter Parker, because Peter Parker basically like says eat dicks and exposes him and blah blah blah. And then that's where that bad blood comes in.
Exactly.
But he's not a bumbling fucking idiot every single time. So in this movie, there is this. So basically, there's no context whatsoever. Zero. There's zero fucking context as to why Cletus. So now Cletus Cassidy is sitting in jail.
Okay.
And the thing is this: is they never found. Okay, so let's just go line quick by quick to tell you how why this was shitty real quick.
Gotcha.
We all know that. So it showed that this is where there's a huge fucking discrepancy.
Okay.
So they talked about Cletus Cassidy, how he killed his mother and his grandmother.
Okay.
So he's a kid.
Right.
And he kills his mother and his grandmother. So this is where there's a huge fucking plot hole. Or they just didn't pay attention. First of all, they showed this whole thing via a cartoon. Like they showed him like pushing his grandmother's wheelchair downstairs as a cartoon, and him like walking in on his mom in the bath and throwing a hairdryer in like as a cartoon. Right. So this is what really fucking bothered me. So they didn't really talk about him being a serial killer, but they did. So I'm a little confused because they said in the movie, in this movie, we're gonna have to definitely put a big, huge thing that says spoiler alerts because these are excessive. Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So he kills his mom. He kills his mom and his grandmother, and then he goes to this like St. Agnes or whatever facility.
Okay.
Psych.
Yeah.
So when the fuck did he commit these other murders? If he's been institutionalized since he was like 9.
Good point.
Because they show him in, like I said, back in the day, he's doing with a different actor, and that's in the 90s. And then he gets
Right.
transferred from there to like a jail, San Quentin prison.
Okay.
So when was he a serial killer?
Good point.
But then they made Eddie Brock such a bumbling idiot, and there's zero context here as to why Cletus only wanted to ever speak to Eddie. So Eddie would visit him.
Okay.
And he walked past like his jail cell without looking in, and then Venom in his head is like, look in the room. And he looks in the room and scans everything, and then like they go home, and then Venom takes over and does these quick fucking drawings of everything. He's like, look, why am I the one telling you to do this? So like this guy's like, he's supposed to be the top fucking investigative journalist in the world, and he needs
Right.
Venom to like tell him. And then
Exactly.
it looks, and then out of nowhere they like match up like a drawing that I guess Cletus Cassidy did on his wall in San Quentin to a location that all these bodies were found. And I'm like, when do these? When? How?
He's fucking just been. That fucking. Apparently, he broke out of jail a bunch.
So now it's confusing because it's like, is that where like? And I gave the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, oh, maybe he killed his grandmother and mom, and then as a child, like buried the bodies out in this secluded
Right.
beach area. But then they show the headlines that now he's getting the death penalty. They're bringing the death penalty back in California to kill Cletus Cassidy.
Right.
And then it said like all the families are going to be at the execute. And I'm like, okay, so that theory went out the window. That theory of maybe it was just his grandmother. And so wait, okay, so let me get this right. So he committed either all of these serial killings as a child, or there's a huge gap that maybe he escaped that they didn't touch base on. Like,
Fucking dumb.
so that honestly wasn't even like one of those like, well, okay, whatever. Like, dude, this is a huge fucking budget Marvel movie. Like, you should definitely have shit like this thought about.
You would think.
But wait, it gets worse.
All right.
And this part I thought about you immediately. So this part I didn't tell you. So this part I'll tell you. Everyone wanted to know how the fuck he got a symbiote.
Yeah, because Eddie's not in jail with him.
Well, he goes back to visit Cletus Cassidy, who shits on him. He's like, you motherfucker, I was going to give you my exclusive story to put you back on the map, and you fucking ratted me out, or whatever the fuck he said. And something happens, and Venom gets really angry with him and like kind of controls Eddie Brock's body to like push him in the jail cell. Anyway, so Cletus Cassidy bites Eddie Brock.
Stop.
And he's blood on it. He's like, that doesn't taste like regular blood. I know blood. That ain't no blood. What's wrong? And he wipes his mouth. He looks at it, and there's a little symbiote.
Stop it.
And he goes like this. And that is how Carnage is born.
Dude, I straight up would have fucking got up and walked out of the theater. Right then. I would have been like, nope, tapped. Fuck this.
And that is how Carnage is born. So essentially what they're saying to you is that the bond of the symbiote that was from Eddie Brock's blood that entered Cletus Cassidy's body fused so well that Cletus Cassidy's DNA morphed the DNA of Venom in order to make Carnage, correct? So can we go with that at least?
Okay. We'll go.
Okay.
We'll go with it.
So obviously their bond has to be that tight.
Of course.
Think about it. Cletus Cassidy's DNA
Mm-hmm.
changed the DNA makeup of Venom
Correct.
in order to create Carnage, which means they should have a tighter bond than anything because it's a DNA matchup.
Yes.
As we saw in fucking Planet of the Clintar story arc, right?
Okay. Okay.
The story arc.
Wait. I was like,
Talking
hold on.
about
What are we
fuse
talking about?
and the strength
Yeah.
of bond and why the
Yeah.
host isn't always a good match is because there's no DNA connection.
Bonding. Yeah.
So technically, by this movie's philosophy, is
He
Venom.
should be the ultimate.
Yeah, Venom and Eddie Brock bond
Right.
based on personality traits.
Yes.
And the physical prowess and strength of Eddie Brock, because he's supposed to be like an Olympian strength, style, whatever. Okay.
Right.
So then by this philosophy, this tightest host symbiote bond of existence should be Cletus Cassidy and Carnage.
Carnage.
Okay.
Right.
They literally played. They made Venom afraid first to fight Carnage, which I was just like,
that's stupid as fuck.
He
I saw
comes
that
out-
in the trailer and I was like, that's
yeah, he
fucking
came out.
stupid.
He's like, oh no, it's a red one.
Right.
But anyway, he comes back and they fight, and then the entire fight, they literally turned it, in my opinion, into Wahlberg, Ted, Thunder Buddies.
Sounds about right.
The talk between Eddie Brock and Venom was like, and not only that, there's scenes where they break up. They break up, and Venom goes to a bar in a nightclub and talks about how he wants to unite aliens. Aliens are misunderstood and he wants people to accept aliens, and he's at a nightclub with glow sticks. Yeah. Anyway, so now they're fighting. And remember everything I told you? Dude, the little tiniest blood. Fused DNA, right?
Yes.
Bro. That was the weakness that Venom and Eddie Brock pushed against them. They go, look, they're not bonded because they kept like splitting because Carnage didn't give a fuck about Cletus Cassidy's girlfriend, Shriek, and was about to hurt her.
Yeah.
And they're like ripping apart. And he's like, look, they're not bonded like us. And I'm like, okay, so now the whole DNA strain. Okay, so that goes out the window too. Like, who the fuck?
God.
Who
Who wrote this film?
But then it gets better because this is where I thought of you. Ready? The entire want of Cletus Cassidy to escape prison
To be with Shriek.
because they turned it into a love story.
Yeah. Nope. No comments, man. Fucking none. Because, dude, it's fucking gotta happen. I swear to fuck, man. They can't make a fucking superhero movie that doesn't have a goddamn love interest.
But that wasn't even the part that bothered you the most.
What? It's gotta get fucking better.
You already know, man. I told you, and this is what made you say, I'm not even spending $3.99.
Oh, I know.
Shit. So arguably, Carnage is the second most popular Marvel villain.
He's definitely the second most fucking, if really close to being first popular fucking Spidey villain.
And the reason why I'm going to say Marvel wide. And the reason why I'll say this is because just the sheer amount of people that are even like weekend fans of comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, Carnage is the most, and I know this is a fact, Carnage is the most tattooed Marvel character of any Marvel character. More so than Spider-Man.
True.
More so than fucking anyone. Marvel-wise. So the popularity is there. People love the Carnage. Like, he's not an anti-hero. He's just a fucking psychopath. He's just a murderer. He's just okay.
He's literally the Joker with a symbiote.
Yes.
I mean, give and take a little bit. Oh, but you ain't gonna see him no more.
They killed him.
Okay.
At least, so the symbiote, Carnage and Cletus Cassidy split. And their fight scene was like so.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So. It wasn't terrible, but you definitely could have, as like I said in the first one, I this is why I was like, oh, maybe because of Marvel, maybe because of the whole SpiderMan thing, whatever.
Yeah.
They castrated and nerfed the fuck out of Venom.
Right.
They castrated and nerfed him even more though than the first one. Because I guess maybe because his entire diet, by the way, has consisted this whole time of M&Ms and chickens. Yes.
I fucking hate this movie and I've never seen it.
So they unfuse. The Carnage symbiote is just slithering away. You see fucking Cletus Cassidy trying to claw towards it. Venom just picks it up and eats it.
Wait,
and then yes,
Venom eats the symbiote.
Yes.
All right, sounds good.
So now Carnage is gone.
Yeah.
Unless they backpedal, because from what we gather, one of the ways of killing the symbiote, I say symbiote. You just said symbiote, so you fucked me up.
Sorry.
Is consumption, because the stomach acid that is created by the symbiote will like. It was some weird fucking lore thing.
Okay.
So like, all right, maybe we'll see a reunion between Cletus Cassidy and Carnage, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're gonna have some weird, I don't know, something, right? Okay.
Oh, okay.
And Cletus Cassidy, he's super fucking popular. Nobody gives a shit about any other Carnage except Cletus Cassidy Carnage. Just like realistically, almost, yeah. Just like realistically, nobody gives a fuck about a non-Eddie Brock Venom. Maybe some people like Flash, but not me. Okay. So I guess you can argue ways that like how the Carnage symbiote survived maybe being eaten, but the half Venom face, half Tom Hardy face comes out and they're talking to Cletus Cassidy holding him. Like this. You fucking asshole. You could have done it. And then here comes that Cletus Cassidy going, you know what, Eddie? Do you know why I wanted you all those time? I just thought we could be friends. And then Venom goes, fuck this guy. And bites his head off. So fucking Cletus Cassidy's dead too.
Okay. So let's be realistic about this. The only reason this film was made was for 2 minutes of the after credits scene.
Yeah, and this is where it gets funny. In my opinion, and the opinion of many, undoubtedly, the most important post-credit scene in Marvel cinematic history.
Oh, easy.
And
but
people will be like, really? Why? But, why? You just
the
crossed
history.
over.
Yeah.
That's the final gap, man. That was the final fucking gap.
Not only is that the final gap, but that is personally This is a person that has read comic books for years. I haven't always been the biggest Marvel fan, but to me personally, that gap is the gap that everybody has wanted bridged since
Yep.
Tom Holland showed up.
So I know that some people don't give a fuck that we just spoiled all this.
Yes.
We'll put another spoiler for us, but you don't need to watch the Venom 2 movie to know, like, seriously, don't waste your fucking time. That's coming.
True.
That's coming from me. That is obsessed. Venom
Right.
obsessed. Okay. Do yourself a favor. In this order, watch the theatrical SpiderMan Never Coming Home, the newest one, trailer. The theatrical version, the one that's like 2 minutes
No Way
long.
Home.
No Way Home. There we go.
No Way Home.
Watch the theatrical trailer, and then Google the end credits to Venom 2. And it'll connect and it'll click.
Yep.
So what happens? I've been talking way too much. You know what happens. What happens, Fuzz?
Basically, Eddie's sitting there, and then somehow Eddie ends up in a hotel room.
On a beach.
And on a beach, yes. Not the beach.
I'm at the beach.
McDonald's. But and he happens to look at the TV, and who's on the TV? Spider-Man. Old Spidey's on the TV. And Venom says something. Can't remember exactly what he says. But he says something, and the tongue comes out. So
happy.
I have a feeling it's coming.
Oh, it's definitely coming.
But I also have a feeling that they shot their load really quick. And
they shot their load super quick because it's just not going to make a whole lot of sense in the capacity of this. So the reason why I say watch the theatrical trailer to the newest installment of Doctor Strange, the new Spider-Man movie,
right,
is because it picks up basically right where the last one left off, where Mysterio tells the world that Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Okay. This is what irks me, is they did the whole first Venom movie and then the second Venom movie. When the reason why Venom is an anti-hero is only because he kills.
Correct.
Not because he's a piece of shit, that he kills bad guys.
Right.
He eats their brain. So he kills. So he's an anti-hero, right?
Right.
So then he goes and he says, want to know how I got these scars? No, he says,
doesn't say that.
All this shit. And you're like, oh, so Venom's hero. He's a good dude. He's a good guy. They're literally, in order for this to make any sense at all, going to have to make him like full-blown balls-to-the-wall villain.
I would have to assume so.
Because I don't know how they're going to connect Eddie Brock with Peter Parker, because the age difference, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, the whole premise on the hatred for Peter Parker and Spider-Man spawned from Eddie Brock. Not from Venom.
Right.
So this is where it's extremely confusing. And I don't know how they're going to cross that over. But
you also don't get the hatred for the hatred of Venom for Spider-Man, because you're not going to get the black suit first. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get that part of it either. So
yeah, it's all very confusing, my friend.
It's going to be interesting to see where they
But
take
I'm
it.
happy they're finally doing the crossover, because I can't fucking wait to finally see.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But as far
absolutely.
as that movie, I give it. Hold on. I really thought I could rip a huge one right now, but I can't. I'm going to shit my pants.
Well, with all that being said.
But yes, they finally are going to cross it. And that finally, it's not just, listen, That is the most important fucking post-credit scene, not just because of they're crossing Venom into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
I have a feeling they're gonna bring back Carnage and everything via the whole time.
They're gonna have to. Yeah. I think a lot of things are coming and going with that time shit.
This is where I think Marvel and fucking DC just sits there and they're like, "How we gonna, yo Marvel? How you gonna fix this? Yo DC, you ever heard of time travel? Yeah, we got the Flash. We got Doctor Strange.
Flashpoint, bitch.
Like,
Doctor Strange point.
so sick of that shit. But
Oh, dude, no, it's coming.
it carries over a
on
lot.
both sides. It's coming. So
Because the whole thing with like the Sony Venom and fucking all this shit is they gave up SpiderMan, right? But they didn't give up like a lot of the other things. But then the acquisition, but then there was some other fucking tape, like weird tape. This finally fucking puts all that to rest. Literally, Marvel can now pick every single fucking character in the entire goddamn Marvel fucking universe that they want to put in a movie now. And this is why I wish they waited for fucking Infinity Wars.
Yep, but they didn't. They blew that load quick.
They still made an amazing movie out of the first one, not the second one. But here, ready for this? Okay, this is how you'll know I'm serious.
Yeah.
We always disagree. I think Endgame, everyone fucking praises Endgame as the greatest fucking movie ever. Hold on. Okay. That's what I say to that. Clearly, I just don't give a shit anymore. Well, anyway, I dedicate that one to Goody. And the writers of Endgame. I thought Endgame was trash. We all know this. I said it was, in my opinion, the worst movie ever made for comic book wise.
Yep.
We even disagreed. We not argued. I mean, obviously difference of opinions too with Sam, with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Everyone says Captain Marvel's worse.
Yeah. Bad.
I still put Captain Marvel ahead of Endgame. So now the order for me of worst goes Venom 2,
and then
Endgame, and then Captain Marvel.
So Endgame is
better than Venom 2. Yes.
Venom 2. Okay.
Yes. I literally said the whole time I was like this.
You got to watch Black Widow.
That might be hit or miss. I mean, see, I'm going into that with a positive, like not expecting much meaning. So I'm sure it's going to be.
I heard a lot of mixed. Honestly, at the end of the day, I thought it was a pretty entertaining movie. I thought it was cool. Like, I'm not here nor there on it. It was better than Captain Marvel. Honestly, it was better than Endgame.
No.
It probably would have done much better and been much more important had they done it before Endgame. Probably should have done it before that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Because I believe, it definitely takes place before Endgame.
And it all takes place before Venom 2.
Exactly.
Which reminds me, I have a move now, so.
Sweet. Because I got an Amanda.
Let's hit it.
So here is my Amanda for the week. So I work as a mail inserter, as some people know. So I run a mail machine. And I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. So when my machine fucks up, I don't always know what's going on. But luckily for me, there are techs at my job that they know these machines in and out. So the other day I was having an issue and I went and I got said tech. And I told the tech what the problem was. I was like, hey man, this is what's happening. And this is why it's happening. And this is the region that the problem is in. He said, no, it's not. I said, all right, because you have worked on these for the better part of however many fucking years, because you're an older gentleman. All right, rock on. Well, whatever the fuck you did didn't fix it. And the problem's still happening. So let's look here. That's not what it is. All right. It's not what it is. That's exactly what the fuck it was. Motherfucker. Now, I'm not going to solely make him the Amanda because there's lots of people in the world that fucking do this shit. Like, look, man, if you are borderline expert at your craft, that is awesome. Good for you. Thumbs up. But just because you have more knowledge about something than somebody else does not mean that this person doesn't know fuck all. So if somebody tells you they're having a fucking issue with something and it's in this area, don't fucking go over there. Fucking dumb. That's my man
Bazinga.
this week.
Sweet. My moop is pretty simple. Moops. So you know how when we were first speculating about the Venom movie, we were trying to figure out what storyline they were going to go off of?
Yes.
Well, we definitely know now because the entire Venom 2, they said the word lethal protector, no joke, probably about 150 times. So they're basing it off of Venom lethal protector. Okay, cool. I can get behind that.
Sounds good.
The writers for Venom 2 are the moops because they clearly didn't even read lethal protector.
It sounds like they read a little bit of Maximum Carnage.
It sounds like they read a little bit of nothing.
They read enough of Maximum Carnage to know that Shriek and Carnage were a thing. They probably didn't get past the part where he just started whooping her ass because, he's a nutcase.
Yeah, and a serial killer maybe because we didn't really get that because he was a kid when he was incarcerated. But then, yeah, all right, yeah, cool.
Yeah,
so the writers of Venom 2, you guys are the moops.
Moopy moops. All right, everybody. Well, that's gonna do it for this week. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's eating all the dicks.
Yeah. And my final thought for this, I guess, is don't be ashamed when you pinch a little bit, you roll the skin back and pinch a little bit of your dick.
Mm-hmm.
When you smell your fingers like this after, don't be ashamed if you think it smells good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.